Hello, doctor. It's an honor for you to hear from our team. My name is Gao Yushan, and the companies my group chose were Papparich, the chicken rice shop, and the secret recipe. We will be reporting in 7 sections. Now I'm going to do the first part of a payoff. The first part of the meeting about the three companies' business introduction, the company's ownership structure, profit, and the marketing ability analysis. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the company. The Papparich Group was formed in 2005. It opened the first store in 2012. Malaysia opened up in 2006. Papparich was founded by Rajasthan. Since its inception, we have been committed to offering a wide range of Malaysian cuisine at affordable prices. Papparich has more than 2,000 stores worldwide, including Malaysia, Australia, China, and other countries. The chicken rice shop is a fast food restaurant and a Highland family restaurant chain founded by Wang Kai Li and her mother Gai Wang. Using the traditional Hainan chicken rice recipe, handed down from generation to generation, and the Penang recipe from my grandmother's collection, the menu features infusion of the Hainan and the Malaysian flowers. The chicken rice shop creates a brand image of the fast food as the taste and healthy in Malaysia. Secret Recipe is a popular lifestyle coffee chain in Malaysia. It is a recognized full-time restaurant, lifestyle coffee, and restaurant chain. So far, Secret Recipes has more than 5,000 stores in more than 10 countries, including Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, the Philippines, China, Cambodia, and India. In comparing the three companies, we have found that the three companies are engaged in the cutting industry. Still, each company's main menu is different and each has its characteristics. Part 2 ownership structure. Papparich owns 70% of the Papparich Malaysia and got his full owns the remaining 30% of the company's ownership structure. Cooking Change Gang, founder of the chicken recipe, owns 74.87% of the company, while Dr. Wang Kailin owns 25.13%. Zeyuan is the founder of the Secret Recipe, the CEO of the Secret Recipe. Finally, it's about the company profit and the marketing ability analysis. The popularity of the COVID-19 had a massive impact on the restaurant industry, leading to the closing of the many restaurants. Therefore, we closed these three companies in 2014-2018 sales income change and profit and loss analysis. As can be seen from the chart, the sales revenue of the three companies is on an upward trend. The comparison shows that the chicken rice shop sells better than Papparich and the Secret Recipe, and is being growing steadily. Papparich's sales greasy rate increased significantly in 2018, but Papparich's profit have fallen relative to its earning statement. Suggestion that the companies have been lived beyond its means since 2016. Papparich is committed to provide the freshest and highest quality ingredients, enhancing customers' trust and creating a trustworthy brand image. Continuous research and development and developed two-fold preparation to ensure the highest standards of the taste and quality. Meals and drinks are cooked fresh in the kitchens of each branch. Fresh ingredients mean relatively high costs. So while marketing advertising is good, it will doesn't boost profit. Papparich's profiles have been declining since 2014, and the company's part its worst financial performance since June 30, 2018, with a net loss of about 11.93 million. On 2014 June, Papparich companies liquidated its assets to the total sum 37.22 millions of the outstanding business closed out thousands of its stores. The chicken rice shop is an excellent price because the price comparison means that the until operating profit is not high still increases the restaurant attendance, store marketing advantages. So the payoff is in a gradual rise place and the secret receives profit, which will lower in 2016 than in 2015, have growth increased since 2017 and have continued to do so. The secret receipt price is targeted at mid to high-income customers. Customers at this level are willing to pay more for comfort and healthier and tastier foods. There are often special permissions to attract low-income customers to their restaurants. By comparing the profits and the marketing amount of the three companies, we can clearly understand the company's profitability. One more customer's choice. Provide popular food focus on product marketing and the advantage. Improve product visibility and develop the company with a long-term plan. To enhance the company's profitability to promote company's continuous development, the secret recipe is a secret high risk to these populations, leading the will in profit. That's all for this part of my report. Thank you.
Gao Yushan. Hi, I'm Fatin. I would like to introduce about my part, which is production of inputs. Inputs are any resources used to create goods and services. There are two types of input, which are variable inputs and also fixed input. Variable input is a resource or a factor of production that can be changed in the short of amount of time by a firm, and it will directly affect the output produced. The examples are raw materials and also labors. Fixed input is a resources or a factor of production that cannot be changed in short amount of time by a firm, such as capitals. Papparich Chicken Shop and Secret Recipe, they are a business that categorized under food and beverages. They have many franchise chain beside their main company, their main business. Their input are basically the same for these three firms, which are raw materials, labors, capitals, and entrepreneurs. Raw materials is an input or inventory that a company needs to manufacture its product. Raw material for these three firms is basically the same, which is the ingredient to make food and drinks. They are a restaurant which their output will be the food or the product to be served to the customer. So their raw materials are made of ingredients that to make their foods and drinks, such as sugar, butter, rice, and chicken. The second one is labor. Labor is a amount of workers that will perform and contribute to the production process. For these three firms, the main labor they need are restaurant crew. They need restaurant crew such as chef, manager, cashier, and management team to function well and to produce the output. Without this labor input, they can't operate and they can't produce the output. The third one is capital. Capital is any tool or building or machine that is used to produce the good or the services. For these three firms, there are a restaurant which is to serve food. The restaurant, the most important thing is they need to have a restaurant premise. If they have the restaurant premise, they need to have furniture, machinery, and also the cooking utensils. All these are called as capital input. Capital input is very important and needed, as without this capital input, the output cannot be produced. Last but not least is entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs is considered as an input. Entrepreneurs is someone who combines all the factors of production in order to produce to earn profit. Entrepreneurs is very important, especially for this three firm as they are a franchise chain. Entrepreneurs helps or lead in innovation, investment and also utilization of production factors. So entrepreneurs is considered as input as without entrepreneurs, the output cannot be achieved. As we can see, for this three firm, which is Papparich, Secret Recipe, and also Secret Shop, their variables input are raw materials and also labor. If they want to change, increase or decreasing their final product, they have to adjust their variables input because this input will directly affect the production. And for the fixed input, for this three firm is capital and entrepreneur. Manager need to strategize carefully about their resources as this fixed input is very important for their progression in a long run. I think that's all from my part.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good evening. Okay, I'm Fazrull. I will present for question number 7. But before that, I would like to thanks to our previous presenter, Ms. Fatin, that has presented the product input analysis. So right now, I'm going to present question number 7, which is what does each company do well, or in other words, we call it strength of each of the companies, and then I will present about what does each company not do well, or in other words, weaknesses. Okay, weaknesses of each company. So we proceed with the first company, which is Papparich. For what is the strength for this company? Okay, first is they deliver authentic, classic and timeless kopitiam meals. Okay, that is the major advantage or major strength of this company. And then they only use carefully selected meats and veggies, which must be fresh, in order to meet their commitment by offering high quality dishes. And then the third one is they adjusting to technology in implementing in the improvement for their restaurant, where right now when you go to Papparich restaurant, you just scan the QR code for their menu, and then they just press the button to call for the waiters. Okay, so that is the technology that have been implemented by Papparich. And then the other strength is that the company's emphasis on customer service. This is one of the essential features for Papparich. And then the Papparich also place high value on customer care in order to attract not for the first time customer, but also for repeated customers. And then next we go to the weaknesses of Papparich. They're difficult to grow in Europe because of the taste of the Europeans slightly different from taste of Malaysian. And then the management style utilized in Malaysia not compatible with the culture of locals, necessitating the development of new management style to suit the personnel. And then in terms of finance, the operator of Papparich has been served with a winding up petition because of unpaid debts for more than 37 million. Okay, these are the weaknesses of Papparich. So we go to next company, Chicken Rice Shop. Okay, one of the major strength for Chicken Rice Shop that they have halal certification. Okay, so this give the company advantage and allow it to differentiate with other restaurant that do not have halal certification. And then Chicken Rice Shop also known for its CSR, where it is a strategy for companies to create the customer relationship and trust, and then the company strong brand allow them to expand to other markets in other countries. Okay, this is one of the major strength for Chicken Rice Shop. And then the R&D department in Chicken Rice Shop, they always working constantly to develop or to upgrade to to do some research of its menu in order to satisfy their customers. Okay, now we go to Chicken Rice Shop weakness. Despite its success in Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, and Singapore, the Chicken Rice Shop is relatively new brand in Vietnam. Okay, while the Chicken Rice Shop has become an international brand, the Vietnamese are unaware of the existing of Chicken Rice Shop. Okay, and then besides rice is always a main dish for the Vietnamese, and then they are not used eating rice as a fast food, and then the Chicken Rice Shop on the other hand still lack the public relation. That is one of the weakness of Chicken Rice Shop. And then the other weakness is that the company does not adequately train the personnel, where based on customer feedback, most clients are quickly happy with the service offered by the Chicken Rice Shop. However, customers express dissatisfaction with the food served, claiming that it was not what they had ordered. Okay, as a result of the employee poor performance, customers are dissatisfied with the Chicken Rice Shop. We go to the next. We go to the last company, which is Secret Recipe. So the strength for Secret Recipe is the product offered by Secret Recipe is very high quality standards, and exclusively customized for their customer. And then Secret Recipe also comply with the guidelines, including HACCP, halal, and then the other guideline VHM, in order to prepare all their foods and processing plants at the restaurant. And then Secret Recipe has competitive advantage in cost and marketing channels. And then the franchise system implemented by Secret Recipe is the advantage for the HQ to access all the data from the franchise. Okay, and then for the weakness, there is no training for the employees. They all depends on the existing colleague to pass on their knowledge and work process. And then the price offered for at the Secret Recipe restaurant is affordable, but it only focus to serve the middle income group and higher. So this all the weaknesses for the last company, which is Secret Recipe. So I think that's all from me. For the next presenter, I would like to invite Yifan to present about business strategy analysis. So I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Fazrull. This is Yifan. In part 5, we will describe about the business strategy of these three companies. We will talk about what are the features of their products, what kind of threats they are facing from each other, and how do they compete with their rivals. And let's have a look of contrast table first. I rated them from 7 dimensions: product promotion, price place process, people and physical evidence, which is according to 7-piece model. In this table, we can roughly identify the strengths and the weaknesses of each company's business strategy. 3 stars means pretty good, 2 means okay, 1 star means not that good or can be understood that they still got a space to improve in the future. We can find Papparich and Secret Recipe are both good at product and the physical evidence, and the chicken rice shop is good at price and place. But for Papparich, in the people dimensions, it's not that good like the other two. For Secret Recipe, not good enough in price, and for the chicken rice shop, promotion is their weakness. In the next section, I will give reasons for why I rate them like this. First of all, let's have a look at Papparich 7-piece analysis. Papparich got the most varied products in 3 companies, and they also sell instant coffee, which is their specialty product. In price, Papparich got an affordable price of their products, and in promotion, it is worth mentioning that a famous chef from MasterChef, Pauline Yong, who has great influence in Australia, has been selected as the brand ambassador. The partnership has dramatically raised the brand's profile in Australia. In place dimension, Papparich has stores in suburbs and cities in many countries like Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore. In process, the design of the restaurant's open kitchen increased the sense of participation of customers in making their food. Therefore, according to customers' feedback, in terms of logistics, the company's raw material supplier cannot deliver goods on time or make up for defective materials, which leads to the inability of some products to be delivered on time. In people dimension compared with the other 2 restaurants, the quality of the service is not that good as the other 2. But Papparich done a good job in physical evidence. The style of the restaurant in modern casual style, with modern store design, store dining environment is very excellent. For the Papparich, they should keep focusing on promoting the Malaysian food culture. The diversity of their offerings is the core competitiveness. Secondly, let's have a look of Secret Recipe. For Secret Recipe, because it starts with cake shop, its cakes are the cream of the top, and they release products made from seasonal foods according to the season. However, the target consumer are high-income people. That cause the price of its products are relatively expensive, and in the place dimension, there are only eat-in and pick-up, which made the company's sales drop during the pandemic. For the process, lack of balance between production and service delivery is a problem of Secret Recipe, and staff's poor English ability and service has ruined the customer's experience, which made the grade of the people dimension only 1 star. But in physical evidence, the interior is unique, vibrant, and dramatical, and it's loved by customers. Secret Recipe has been inferior to the other 2 in traditional Malaysian food. It can maintain its business strategy of focusing on cake shop and cafe as its core competitiveness. For the chicken rice shop, focusing on Hainanese chicken rice formed the brand characteristics. It also offers a seasonal menu. The chicken rice shop has the cheapest price in these 3 companies. Consumers can choose to eat in or pick up. They also offer delivery service to customers. The chicken rice shop also got the best staff in 3 companies. They provide training to staff to ensure guests have the best dining experience. And they have incentives to motivate staff to provide better service. Although, from physical evidence perspective, the shop decoration is ordinary. They provide the best service, which make the consumer feel comfortable in their restaurant. Even though the chicken rice shop isn't as competitive as the other 2 in terms of product diversity, the chicken rice shop can take classic Hainanese chicken rice as its core product. Good service and cheap price can also be used to maintain the brand characteristics. to form its unique core products and brand characteristics will improve the competitiveness of the company in the catering industry. And that's all of the 7-piece analysis of these three companies. I summarize the main competitors of each company. Papparich has done a good job in product diversity and advertising. Secret Recipe, they did well in cake-related products and custom dining environments. The chicken rice shop has done a good job in classic Cantonese chicken rice service and price. And that's all of the Part 5 business strategy. Let's move to the next part, Porter's 5 forces analysis of these three companies. And Zeyuan will be the next speaker. Welcome.
Thank you, Yifan. I will analyze these three companies using the Porter's 5 forces model. Porter's 5 forces model is a strategic analysis tool, often utilized by firms when developing competitivity strategies. There are threat of substitutes, bargaining power of customers, threat of new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers, and the last is competitivity review. Papparich has 21 trains in 6 cities in Malaysia and international trains in more than 10 countries. Chicken Rice Shop has a long corporate culture and is spreading in Asian markets, such as the Vietnamese market is a very, very good example. Street Recipe has more than 360 stories at home and abroad. And what they have in common is that they have multiple trends at the same time. In addition, the food restaurant market is a growing market with huge demand. But the impact on chicken rice shop is more serious because Papparich has a wide range of products. Street Recipe mainly makes desserts like cakes. New products are easy to replace and have better market demand. Chicken Rice Shop need to maintain the origin product base and continue to develop new products to reduce the threat of substitutes. Many new companies will join the market, and new companies will face competitivity pressure from previous companies when entering the market. The culture and philosophy of exciting companies and the current competitivity pressures become critical focus. We conclude the new entrants will have an impact on Papparich and the chicken rice shop, with street rice production in the market. Their average profit is not high, overall profit is high, and the market share is not high, which is an important factor. This is more able to attract new companies to join the market. By average price, customers prefer chicken rice shop, followed by street recipe because chicken rice shop adopts a low price sale model to serve all types of customer groups. Papparich, chicken rice shop, and street recipe, most of them are based on basic ingredients. So they have many suppliers and weak bargaining power. However, in recent years, because of the impact of the COVID-19, the price of food of origin has risen, resulting in the bargaining power of suppliers also rising. It's worth mentioning that Secret Recipe mainly focuses on cakes with durian. And the price of durian has been in a stable state, so the bargaining power of street recipe suppliers is weak. Based on the analysis, it can be concluded that street recipe is more competitive. Thank you all. Welcome to next speaker, Emily.
Okay, thank you, Zeyuan. So now I'm going to introduce the roles in the market. As we all know, there are four main types of the market structures. There are perfect competition, monopolist competition, monopolists, and oligopolist. So in terms of this four types of the structures, I'm going to introduce them one by one. So in the perfect competition market, well, all the business are supposed to produce the very similar, very alike product. There are basically no differentiation between them. So under this condition, no company could make the very large profit. Nearly all of them could make the very average profit. And the second one, the monopolist competition, is a market structure in which a large number of the enterprises produce the differentiated products to compete with each other. And the companies pursue differentiations in terms of the brand and quality to attract more consumers. That is to say, they are trying so hard to win more market share. In terms of the oligopoly market, it refers to the market structure where only a very few firms get most of the profit. And the amount of the participants in the market is really few, as we've mentioned. Well, at some point, several oligopoly firms will combine to control the market and set up the relatively high barriers of entry. And the last one is monopoly. Monopoly refers to a situation where there is only one company earns almost all the profit of an entire industry. It has no competition. In relation to that, barriers of entry is extremely high, and the company set the price of the whole market while consumers and the suppliers have very low power of bargaining. And in terms of the three companies, well, for these three companies, Papparich mainly provides Malaysian, Chinese, and Indian cuisines, including noodles and chicken and rice and some of the desserts. For the chicken rice shop, it mainly targets on some cuisines like chicken and rice and Malaysian dishes. And for the last one, Secret Recipe, it is actually the largest cafe chain in Malaysia, providing some cafe, desserts, and light meals as well. These three companies provide very similar products, and none of them provides very exclusive products for now. So that means they cannot be the monopolists. And meanwhile, due to the nature of the catering industry, the dishes are definitely featured with some uniqueness. And just like the flavors or the qualities or the taste. So that means the dishes cannot be exactly the same. Well, this doesn't fit to the criteria of the perfect competition, so they're not perfect competitors as well. Next, let's take a look at the market share of those companies. For the market share, we could see from the chart, this is a diagram drawn from the Canadian government in researching the top 10 food service companies in Malaysia. Well, from the chart, we can see the top one brand called Yum Brands only accounts for 4.5% in the whole market share. And the total accounts of the top 10 companies will only cost about 10% of the whole market. That means there is no monopoly company or oligopoly company existed in the Malaysian catering industry for now. The last one, let's take a look at the substitution of the goods. In terms of the goods substitution, as we've just mentioned, there should be no substitute goods in a perfect market because consumers would feel no differences in switching the companies from one to another. And also because of the specialty of goods, the processing procedures varies a lot. The dishes are quite differentiated, and consumers have a lot of choices at a time when they want to go out for dining. So these are the characteristics of a monopolistic competitors. So in a word, we can say that these three companies Their roles are the monopolistic competitors in the food and beverage market for now. So this is my part. I'm going to pass it to my team member to give the conclusions. Thank you.
Hello, sir. It's me, Bilal, and I will be presenting the final part of our group work, which is the conclusion and the recommendation. To start with, since all three business companies that we have studied, Papparich, Secret Recipe, and the Chicken Rice Shop, all of them are engaged in the catering industry, giving customers an amazing and memorable experiences when it comes to dining. The goal of the CEO of this company must be to provide customers with amazing and memorable experience, ensure a great retention of the customers, and ensure high profitability in the long run. And we all know that restaurants were hit the most with the emergence of COVID-19 pandemic due to the lockdown that was implemented in most countries around the world. And as a result of that lockdown, dining inside restaurants were not allowed, and customers have become more conscious, more aware about hygiene, cleanliness, health, and safety, unlike before the pandemic. And during the pandemic, taking preventive actions and measures to safeguard clients from the coronavirus was the top priority for most businesses in general. And even though the pandemic is over now, keeping the environment clean and decreasing germ risk for the purpose of ensuring customers' safety must always remain and be a high priority for these three customers, Papparich, Secret Recipe, and the Chicken Rice Shop. And while at the same time, in the post-COVID era, this trend in the dining industry will promote customer trust, the trend of hygienic and clean delivery of food. Moving on, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, 48 million people get sick from a food-borne illnesses every year. And this form a major drive for people, especially after COVID-19 pandemic hit the world, to go for more hygienic and more clean food. Some of them prefer to cook at home or order to go. That's why the first recommendation emerged for these three businesses to start by trying to rebrand their businesses to be a pioneer in protecting employees and customers altogether in terms of health and safety, demonstrating a proper and hygienic handling of food items throughout the entire dining experience and throughout the entire process of preparation and delivery. As these catering businesses promote themselves to be safe, germ-free places to dine, it is bound that customers will eventually feel reassured about the dining experience outside at these respective restaurants, which will eventually lead to higher profitability. Moving on, it is equally important to this for these three businesses to prioritize cleanliness in terms of promoting that in their marketing strategy, including that in their advertising, by providing clients with a peace of mind, reassuring them that their safety is a top priority for the business company. These efforts should not kept and should not be limited at the dinner table of the customer, but rather these efforts should be used to encourage confidence in a safe return to the outside world after the COVID-19 pandemic. This strategy should be promoted on menus, food offerings, and across business social medias platforms. The second recommendation for these three businesses, Secret Recipe, Papparich, and the Chicken Rice Shop, is to adopt innovation as a way of doing business. Despite the fact that food catering industry is known to be repetitive and processes are mostly repetitive, and it is marked to be less innovative, COVID-19 pandemic has taught all businesses of all types to learn to adopt and innovate in order to survive and flourish. Thus, including innovation in terms of product, services, and strategy is a very significant step for these three businesses, Papparich, Secret Recipe, and the chicken rice shop, because they suffered a lot of losses during COVID-19 time. This would allow these three companies to recover quickly after the losses incurred, as we have said, providing them with a chance to come up with a new innovative solutions to re-attract customers to dine in again. And finally, there are a few examples of innovative solutions and ways that some of the food chains and food outlets and food restaurants have used, but these three companies have not used and did COVID-19 time. A case in point would be using contactless deliveries and touchless payment methods, promoting online or in-app ordering services, and implementing tamper-evident bans and sales are few of these innovative methods and tools that these three catering companies can use in order to adapt to the new changes brought by the COVID-19. This will allow them to eventually be fully adaptive of the new normal, and the business will continue to flourish. At the end, this was our presentation, Doctor. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.